We all know having a baby can be a stressful time, but when that stress becomes toxic, it can be harmful to baby. Our health specialist Leah Sarich now with what mom and dad or partner can do to help mom and baby healthy and happy.
Yeah,
right?
That's what it's all about, keeping everybody healthy and happy. So this is another example of the really exciting research that's underway here at the University of Calgary. So I spoke with two researchers, and they're trying to understand how the stress that mom feels while she's pregnant has an effect on that baby in utero. And they're trying to figure out sort of the mechanism of action there, like what's really going on physiologically. So they're doing sampling. So they're taking samples of their saliva, of mom's saliva. They're testing baby once it's born for its reaction to stress. So they're actually looking into this, and what they've found is that they can already predict how baby will respond to stress once it's born based on how mom did during pregnancy.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's a direct link there. So if mom is experiencing toxic stress, but I just want to take a moment to talk about what we mean by toxic stress. So this is not the average stress that mom is feeling every day. You know, oh, am I going to get the nursery set up in time? Or did I get in a fender bender on the way to work? That's not necessarily toxic stress. That's tolerable stress. We can manage it. Toxic stress is unrelenting, chronic stress that is not going away, and it's really intense. So that is toxic stress, not the everyday stuff. So if mom is experiencing this while she's pregnant and even after the baby is born, what we now know is that the outcome for that child is not great.
If we have a mother who's exposed to stress toxically, unsupported toxic stress, and we have that mother who has a baby and the stress is unremitting, remains toxic, mama is unable to muster the serve and return relationships, there's no support around her, the outcomes for that child are quite variable. There's a lot of outcomes, but none of them are very good. It's mental health problems, it's diabetes, it's cardiovascular disorders, it's a whole range of health and development outcomes over the lifespan.
Yeah, so this is not good. So let's just delve into that a little deeper. So before even baby is born, if that toxic stress is there, they're seeing changes in the development of the brain architecture of the baby before it's even born. Organ development is affected. Even body size is smaller in that baby before it's even born. Then once they're born, if that stress continues, the toxic stress that we're talking about, the serve and return that they talked about. So that's when mama coos, baby coos back, baby coos, mama coos back. If that is affected, if mom isn't able to do that and bond with her baby, we're seeing major problems down the road. So we're talking about things like these children are at greater risk for cardiovascular disease, metabolic syndrome, which is things like diabetes, greater risk for mental illness, so things like depression and anxiety. And researchers are even seeing the effects of this toxic stress on the child even earlier now. So for example, when child goes into school, they're seeing that their temperament is affected. So they're not learning the way they should be. They're easily distracted. They're the first child to react to a stressful situation. Yeah. So it's not great.
Okay, there is some good news though.
Yes, this is the really happy part about this research, is that there are ways to actually prevent this. So there is a way, in fact, to prevent all of these negative effects on the child.
By having a very supportive social environment, we can actually prevent some of this stress signaling to the baby, and that's a very hopeful kind of message, I think, especially for dads who sometimes wonder, so what's my role in all of this? I think there's a pretty clear role in terms of being able to support mom and to be able to help her deal with the inevitable challenges that occur as a part of life. And you can have a very direct and concrete and significant role in the development of your baby.
So that's really good news. So there is a way to prevent this kind of stress. So the stress can still be there, but if mom is really well supported by her partner, but even in the wider community, so if she's supported by doctors, nurses, social workers, friends, grandparents, that kind of thing, if she's feeling supported, that is going to reduce her stress levels, and that's going to reduce that stress signaling that's being sent to the baby, so we can actually have an impact there.
Okay, and more on your blog.
More all on my blog, including links to their research, which is really interesting.
Very interesting.
Very
Health specialist
interesting.
Leah Sarich, thank you very much for this.